At She Can, we tell women's stories. We're building up the largest online library of women role models because it's easier to be what you can see. And I'm excited to talk to Sara Lomelin today. Sara, welcome to She Can. I'm excited to hear your story. You're the founder and CEO of Philanthropy Together, a global initiative to democratize and diversify philanthropy. You did an amazingly successful TED Talk with 1.4 million views. You're part of the Forbes 50 over 50. And with Philanthropy Together, which champions collective giving, you trained more than 600 community leaders on how to create your own giving circles for causes of your own choosing. And your motto is everybody can be a philanthropist. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
And I need to give credit to many other women that were co-founders of Philanthropy Together. Actually, Philanthropy Together is the brainchild of more than 100 people, most of them women, because this is definitely a women-led movement. But yeah, we got together a few years ago and started dreaming what was possible for the field of collective giving. But about myself, I am from Mexico City originally, as you can tell by this accent. I have been in the US for more than 27 years. It's going to be 28 at the end of this year. And I live in California. I have three children, grown children. I mean, they're kind of little on the pictures behind me, but they're 24, 22, and 20. And I always start with that because at the end of the day, they are the most important, part of my life. And I didn't start my career in philanthropy. I started in the corporate world many, many, many years ago. I studied communications before the internet. So when, we used to do homework and college projects on floppy disks. So I'm totally dating myself. Well, I think Forbes already did that last year. Um, but yes, oh my God, they literally published that list 2 days after my birthday. So it was Sara Lomelin, 52. I'm like, oh my God, couldn't they have done it like a week prior? So at least I was 51 for a little bit longer. Um, but anyway, I started my career in a financial group in Mexico. And then when I moved to the US, I had my own business for a few years. I was making baby sleeping bags for car seats and strollers, totally random. I could write a book of what not to do when you have a small business. I learned a lot. And then I started getting into philanthropy when I turned 40. I moved back to San Francisco. I was living in Dallas, Texas. I moved back to San Francisco and I joined the Latino Community Foundation. And I fell in love with the model of collective giving and giving circles, and really, changing the narrative of who gets to be called a philanthropist.
Yeah. And you talked about it very successfully in your TED Talk, Sarah. So tell us a bit more about Philanthropy Together and what you're up to these days.
Well, Philanthropy Together, as I was telling you, is we are an umbrella organization, a field catalyst for collective giving. So we work with giving circles globally, we work with collaborative funds, and the whole idea is how do we involve more people in philanthropy, how we ignite this movement of radical generosity globally, with young people, people of all ages, all backgrounds, all socioeconomic status, faith, ethnic groups, etc., etc. And what we do is we offer trainings that they are for free. Every single program that we offer is for free. And our whole objective is um, making sure that people have the tools and they feel empowered to make a change in their own local communities, right? You don't have to really overthink it. I always say it's not rocket science. It's just a matter of how do you ignite a few of your friends, your colleagues, your family members, and you do something for your community.
Yeah.
And what am I up to right now? This year has been incredible because I have had the opportunity to travel to different parts of the world to talk about collective giving. And just, next month, I am going to Australia for the very first time, and I am very excited about that.
And you've just been in England, I know that, Sarah. And yes, so tell us a little bit more about what do you think? I mean, you've talked about it so successfully. Your work is so successful. The democratization of philanthropy is such a big idea and so successful. You've trained so many leaders. Where do you think you've got such big brands behind you? Where do you think this, what would you like it to look like, if this really works on a global scale?
I would love for people not to ask me what a giving circle is, to get to that moment when, you know, it's like crowdfunding, right? Like the word crowdfunding. 10 years ago, no one knew what crowdfunding was. And suddenly everybody knows it right now. With giving circles, we're slowly getting there. But, just for the audience, I'm going to say what a giving circle is. A giving circle is a group of people that get together to create change. So a group of people pools their resources, and it can be not only monetary, but it can be also their time, their talent, their testimony, their ties, and they decide collectively where to give that gift. And then after they decide, they give it together, so the impact is multiplied by the power of the group. um, but how would it look, or what success would look like, is really that um, people would know exactly what it is, and they will be at least one giving circle in every community all over the world.
Yeah, and we are less reliant then, which I think is very important, especially in this day and age, on politicians and
Oh,
politics in
yes.
general. That is such a kerfuffle, and we all know that we can trust that they will invest in the right things. So I think Philanthropy Together has such an important place because you're really teaching people that you can do it yourself. Don't wait for politicians to take a decision that might take forever. There are many things we can do if we come together, pool our resources. And as you said, it's not just money. And it doesn't just mean that only people who've made an enormous amount of money can do it, right? Everybody can do it. Pennies coming together will produce a pocket of cash that can bring about change on local levels.
Totally. That's, a very good point, Stephanie, because it's like we don't have to wait for politicians, and we don't have to wait for billionaires, for a few billionaires to decide what are those causes that are worthy to invest in. Again, why is this predominantly women-led movement? Is because the amount of funding that goes to support women and girls issues is
Mm.
dismal.
Yeah.
And, a lot of women took matter into their own hands and said, okay, enough.
Yeah.
We are going to invest our own resources into making sure that programs that support women and girls, especially women and girls of color all over the world,
Mm.
have the funding that they need. Same with, the other different causes, like faith-based causes, ethnic-based causes, LGBTQ community, all those areas where the funding is, my God, it makes you mad and angry to know the amount of funding that goes to different causes. That is where the potential exists.
Yeah, it really is placing the responsibility and the power back in the hands of everybody, which is what I love so much about it. So, Sarah, tell us a little bit. There's always two sides of the coin, right? There are challenges and pitfalls. How do you navigate them? And then there are successes, and how do you celebrate them?
Well, I always say, I wake up every morning saying I have the best job in the world, because every single day I get to meet amazing people. My team and I feel extremely privileged because we work with the good people of this world. There are many people that are just apathetic and they sit and wait for things to happen. And we get to work with the change makers. So I love meeting new people every day, being on Zoom. I'm a total extrovert, as you can as you can maybe tell, or in person, right? Like I will jump for any opportunity to be in front of people. How do I celebrate success? I am privileged to live, right in front of a park, and this may sound really simple, but I love walking outside and just walk in the park and look at how people are having fun outside and just enjoy life. Um, and the challenges, you know, maybe it's the middle age or something. Um, I don't focus too much on the challenges
Mm.
because everything, and I feel that comes with age, right? Nothing lasts forever. So when you are up, enjoy it because, it may not last forever. It won't last forever. But also when you are down, know that it won't last forever. Like, you will go back up. So I do feel I'm kind of like an eternal optimist.
Yeah, that's lovely. Sarah, so what do you feel are your best qualities, the ones that really serve you every day? And you've been telling us a little bit about that already.
Well, I think I am definitely a connector of people. I Every time I meet someone, I'm already thinking, "Ooh, I need to introduce Stephanie to such and such." Like I'm already, thinking how people can make connections and can do, something better together and stronger together. Um, I have a colleague, dear colleague, Isis Kraus, who always lead us in an exercise of writing down your life purpose and your purpose statement. And I think mine was something around I am a disruptor for good or a fun disruptor for good. I feel that another one of my qualities is maybe the energy. And it's kind of crazy, and sometimes my children get annoyed and my team gets annoyed too, because yeah, I think the older I get, the more energy I have, and it's great for me, maybe not great for other people.
I feel a lot of what you say really resonates because I definitely have late onset boldness. I seem to be brimming with energy. And I think that's when you are in your purpose and you're doing what you love. And so I think that that helps. Sarah, so give us some top tips. You obviously have a very successful TED Talk that people should listen to if they haven't yet. But give us some top tips on how you would tell people to start being a philanthropist. As we established, everybody can be a philanthropist. This is not a sort of coined expression for a billionaire who might have to put some of parts of his profits into philanthropy. It's really something that every one of us can do. So, what would your top tips be for people to embrace that?
I think the first one is, that the word philanthropist is very charged, right? For a lot of people, they don't like it. And we added the word philanthropy, when we were starting the organization on purpose because we want to reclaim it. And the first, tip would be like go to the roots of the word, which are love of humanity. Like who doesn't love humanity, right? So focus on that. Second of all, is like to not make assumptions, and that goes for both sides, right? If you are a fundraiser, never assume who can give and who cannot give because you may be very surprised. Also, if you're starting your giving circle and you are thinking about, okay, who of your friends or your colleagues to invite, never assume who can give and who cannot. Um, I would also say do not overthink it. just do it. It's something that you can start very, very small with, a few of your friends. Um, where you start is not where you're going to end.
Mm.
Everything is flexible, everything is tweakable. Um, I would also say, because a lot of women get stuck into like, oh, if I didn't do this in my 20s or my 30s, I'm not going to be able to do it. I would say no. Like, I completely switched careers at 40, and my most successful years have been the moment I turned 50. So it's like you will have another, like, enjoy every single day and enjoy the moment. And I know you and I were laughing at the beginning of the interview. Do not sit. I work I work standing up. And I think, that helps also with the energy,
Yeah.
with the posture, with everything.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very grateful for your tips on that as well. Zara, so what are your plans and dreams and goals for the next years?
I, you know, I want to start a lot more partnerships with, different organizations, global organizations like, Giving Tuesday, Wings, um, and bigger and larger foundations all over the world. So how can we grow, 10x? Um, we released an incredible research report a few months ago where we saw the growth of the movement in the past 7 years. And, when people think of Giving Circles and they think, oh, this is cute, it's not cute. It's a really powerful movement. Just in the US, in the past 7 years, um, Giving Circles gave out 3.1 billion with a B, $1 billion. There's, 370,000 people involved. And that, of course, outside of the US, it's, even larger. So I am excited to repeat this research in 5 years and see, how much has the movement doubled or tripled.
Yeah, and it gets ever more important. Every year it seems to really gain in absolute importance. Sarah, so if you had a wand and you could change one thing, what would that be?
Ooh, oh my God, that's a good one. I would take away from everybody the feeling of being selfish. I feel that the problem is that, when the pandemic started, and at some point, remember, I mean, it was very hard for everybody all over the world. But there were these beautiful videos of people helping each other. And there was a moment that we all thought like, wow, the world is going to come out better from this.
Yeah.
And it did, and then we forgot about it very quickly. And I feel that if I could change something, one thing would be that. Like, we get again the feeling that we're not alone in this world. No one has, you know, been made alone. We need each other. And how can we take care of each other?
Yeah, I love that answer. Thank you so much, Sarah. What an inspiring story. What an incredible organization you're heading up. And we cannot wait for all the successes to come and to really amplify that further. What an important mission to have in this day and age.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been lovely.